Hello, beautiful people and fellow winers, and welcome to another episode of A Little Something to Wine About with your host, Siobhan Camille.
And Tae Michelle.
Where sips get real and we wine as we wine about life, relationships, business, culture, all of that over a glass of wine. It is second Wednesday in August. We are here. So, it is this last wine, and we are blessed and fortunate to have the two ladies of Shoe Crazy Wine with us. We met them at the DC Wine Fest. If you have not seen the vlog, check it out, link above. And they're going to join us today as we talk about this female entrepreneurship, Black female entrepreneurship.
Yes.
Black August. In Black August, we are celebrating Black entrepreneurship. So let's wine. So grab your glass of red, white, rosé, champagne, Moscato, Chardonnay, sparkling water. We are here for all of it. Sparkling water.
All of the things.
All of the things. Happy hump day. And join us on the couch. Happy hump day, y'all.
On the couch, Wino Wednesday. Hey, y'all. Y'all know it is another wonderful Wednesday, and I hope you all are having a blessed, prosperous, and successful week. And if you aren't, it's okay. It's the middle of the week. Turn it around anyway. Right around the corner, okay?
Yeah,
all
flip
right.
it.
See, that's right. So, we're going to take this hour. We're going to wine a little bit or not. Just in this little bit of hour, because sometimes we got to get some stuff off our chest. So we're going to get this topic of entrepreneurship off our chest. As someone who has tried a few times in a few different areas, we know the struggles, this podcast in itself. Hello. Okay. So look, we're gonna whine about it just a little bit.
A little something to whine about.
Yes, just a little bit, because we gotta get some stuff off our chest. So we figure why not ask some sisters, like, what's up? How we doing? How we do this thing? How we get through these plans and trials and tribulations? But y'all know, before we even get into all of that, sis, what's your poppin' grapes experience that you're doing today?
So, in honor of having our ladies with us from Shoe Crazy Wine, I have a Shoe Crazy. I have Sweet Bella.
Ooh.
I am looking forward
Our
to
biggest
this.
seller.
I am looking forward to this. I'm a little nervous, I'm not gonna lie, y'all, because it says sweet red, that got my attention. But then it said chocolate and strawberry notes, and I said, oh, like dessert, like that girl, like don't. Okay, you're right. Yeah. So I am looking forward. I cannot wait.
I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward. So that is my popping grapes, as we call it, my new wine experience.
First wine experience. That's right. Y'all, it's been a week. Okay, that's why I say we can turn it around. We're gonna turn it around. I have driven to several wines in my local area. Search for this wonderful wine. And apparently you all have known about this before me, because it is sold out everywhere. Like literally, I'm asking cashiers, so do you have it, or is it like out of stock? They're like, yeah, we're sold out.
Got them in the
anything, right?
Sold out, yes. And that's all a good thing.
That's a good problem to have.
It's a great issue to have. Yeah. So what I have dedicated my weekend to is going to find a Shoe Crazy wine.
You gonna find it. You find
it. So
it.
that I can pop that grape next week. Okay. That is dedication.
Absolutely. And if you can't find it, we're gonna send you some.
Okay. I will let you know. See what happens. See what happens. So what I just decided to do was just run something back. I still, because it's Sisterless Wine, I still stuck with the sisters.
Yeah.
I went and got the McBride sisters. Black Girl Magic Reason. Y'all know, just a little oldie but goodie. Gotta keep us, support us. You know what I'm saying? So I figured let's get it. Let's go. Let's get it.
And what are you ladies sipping on over there today?
Well, I'm sipping on our Chardonnay.
So I have now I got to find it.
She mad now.
I got to find it.
That's this one. That's our Chardonnay, lightly oaked. And what are you drinking, Brittany?
I'm drinking our strawberry passion rosé.
I was looking for that. They didn't have it.
This one's
Yeah.
gonna be at Total Wine.
I was there.
Oh,
They didn't have it. They
Yeah,
probably they were sold
they're
out
sold
too.
out.
That's where I went first.
Yeah, they're sold out. We have trucks coming in, so everybody should be well stocked by next week. So our delivery guys are ready.
And I don't know if we introduced ourselves.
Oh, we
I'm
didn't.
Brittany
Yes.
Hurt, heading branding and marketing, and this is my mother, Gwen Hurt.
I'm Gwen Hurt. I'm the founder and CEO, I should say co-founder and CEO of Shoe Crazy Wine and now Spirits. So
Spirits.
we've expanded our brand, which is great. So we're looking forward to continuing to grow our wine business because we do have a little something to whine about today. I love the name of your podcast.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so we're gonna jump right into the questions. Y'all didn't know. Okay, so I don't know if y'all peeped this, but if you see in the background, they have their display.
It's a lot for those who are
It's a
listening.
lot.
It's like 10 wines back there, 9-10 wines back there.
So
And
that
well,
means
We also have Bonita Johnson. We do her exclusive. We created her exclusive white, a little something to whine about. So
okay.
hers is something to whine about on her bottle. So that's her demi-sec white. And then we have our Sweet Harmony. We have our sparkling peach mango, which we call the GOAT because it sells out in 11 states. And then we also have Sweet Bella, which is what you're going to be enjoying. That's our second bestseller in 11 states. And then we also have our Ladies Moonshine that we just released, a vanilla ice cream and apple cobbler. And we have our peach whiskey, sweet peach whiskey. So we have expanded.
Like I need to throw a party and
right.
And we can stock it end to end
Yeah.
just
because we have hard cider as well. That's not here, but we also have hard cider. So
okay. So
well, let's talk about wine, right? Because that's what we're here. But we transitioned Shoe Crazy into an adult beverage company, not just a wine company. So which has been great for us over the last year.
And
And we're not only about the wines here. If anybody
Yeah.
watch, we have whining with the guys, and usually the guys, they don't bring wine. They
Don't bring wine. They
beer,
bring
beer
whiskey and beer.
yeah, there's scotch or
Yeah.
something in there.
and
Yeah.
protein shakes.
and protein.
Yeah, and our peach whiskey does well with the guys,
It
with their
does.
cigars, yeah, and ladies
Okay.
that smoke cigars, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I used to love the smell of cigars. I would go to a cigar bar just to like smell them. It
Yeah.
reminds me of my uncle, but that's neither here nor there. So, ladies, tell us Shoe Crazy Wines.
Yeah.
The name.
The
The
name,
name.
the name, the name is born from this lady named Gwen Hurt that had about 300 pairs of shoes and counting. So my passion has always been shoes. Ever since a little girl, it's been a thing of mine. So when I was making wine from a kit in my kitchen and I had all these bottles of Chianti, I said to Brittany, oh God, what should I name it? And she basically sucked her teeth.
I mean, I was like 16, so I was a teenager at the time. So of course I'm gonna suck my teeth. I mean, it's like, we hate everybody and hate everything.
Right.
Don't
Okay,
ask me,
so-
don't ask me no questions. Don't ask me.
I was like, why are you talking to me?
I have a
Like, I'm trying to get my
60-year-old boy
roots.
and a 60-year-old girl, so I understand completely.
She's like,
It's like, so I was like, just name it something that you love.
and I said, I'm
And-
crazy about shoes.
And she's crazy about shoes.
So Shoe Crazy is where the name came from when it was a hobby. Who knew, if you spring forward about 6-7 years, that Shoe Crazy would become an actual brand and a business for us. And it's been an 8-year journey with Shoe Crazy. So it started out as a hobby by force of nature, I'll call it, 2 challenges in my life and one severe one in hers as well. I got downsized from my job. I'd been a corporate executive for a Fortune 300 company and was downsized. And 2 days after that, we were in a car accident. So it was pretty debilitating. Although someone said once, Shay almost died. I was like, we did not almost die.
Yeah, that was a bit much on
A
that.
little bit much.
That was a lot. I was like, Mom, you reading this?
It was debilitating though. And we had a year of physical therapy to kind of get back to, walking without assistance and things like that. And during that year, we built a wine brand, Shoe Crazy. And so we launched our company in July 15th of 2014. So about 8 years ago. And it's been up, it's been down, and and back up and level and up and down. It's been a roller coaster ride. But one that I wouldn't change for the world. I mean, it's been a bit of a challenge.
And I wouldn't trade it in for anything
I wouldn't
either.
trade it either. It's something that we've both been passionate about, building a brand and helping other women enter industry. At the time when I got into the industry, there was hardly anyone.
Exactly.
And that was in 2014. So I like to think of us as the pioneers somewhat in this industry for women of color and for women.
Right.
You know, we didn't own a vineyard. We did it a little bit different. We contracted out our wine development, which I think was smart for us because somebody's afraid of snakes. Definitely afraid of snakes. And snakes are in the garden. I'm just saying.
Yes,
Yeah.
they are.
I mean, I don't like them either, but not to the capacity of how she's
I
saying.
have a phobia, so it's a good thing I couldn't afford to buy a vineyard because I would have had to sell it for like pennies on the dollar. The minute I saw a little something slither by. Yeah, so we did.
She probably would have abandoned the whole place. I don't care what you do with it. Set it on fire, girl. Like,
Here's the key.
burn it.
Goodbye. So it actually is kind of good that I did not have the ability to purchase a vineyard because I literally would have given it away if that was what I was up against. So, you know, we struck out differently and we started creating wines that we liked.
Okay.
Because we like dry wines, right? Bone dry wines is what I drank, right? And I mean, I can let Brittany tell the story. She tells it way better than I do. Those bone dry wines, yeah.
For what? Which part?
Selling dry wines.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So the selling of dry wine. Okay. So when we had gotten into Total Wine, so we had just
2016.
got like back in 2016. And so
Uh-huh.
I was doing a wine tasting in the Total Wine. So I had all dry wines and I would probably only sell maybe 3-4 bottles tops.
Uh-huh.
Go home. And then so I was like, Mom, we need to kind of change up because most of our customers that are coming up to taste, you have something softer,
Something sweeter.
something sweeter, you know,
Mhm.
something not so bitter. Like
Yeah.
these are the words that were being said to me.
Yeah.
And I would go back and I would tell her. And so we eventually made the pivot and our first sweet wine was actually our Sweet Harmony.
Sweet Harmony.
Okay.
So when we brought Sweet Harmony on to the scene, when we finally were able to get it, you know, delivered into Total Wine and I went back and did the wine tasting, I would sell of Sweet Harmony probably about 4 cases in one sitting of the tasting for 3 hours versus about
4
3
bottles.
bottles of our red blend.
Yeah.
Or, you know,
Or
our
cab.
or the cab or the
Cab.
Sauvignon
Right.
Blanc and stuff like that.
Right.
So I was like, sweet's where it's at. So
Yeah.
let's go that route. And then next came peach mango and so on and so forth. So
Okay.
we saw the trajectory of our sales go
Yep.
from, you know, a flat line to, you know,
It went up.
like we boomed.
all because of Sweet Harmony.
Yeah.
And then we got the peach mango and then it went even higher.
Well, and I think because we're talking about entrepreneurship,
Mhm.
one of the lessons learned as an
That was
entrepreneur,
gonna be my question.
that everybody should do is if something isn't working, but you want to stay in your industry, then you need to pivot. You need to
Yes.
figure out how to make it work.
Yes.
And you may have to pivot 2, 3, maybe 4 times, right?
Mhm.
Before you get it right.
Yes.
And so
One thing COVID
we
has
did.
taught us is the pivot. I
Yeah.
you
appreciate
do,
that.
and it's like, and you can't dig in your heels. So, you
Right.
know,
Right.
it was really a good thing that when I brought this to my mother's attention, she didn't dig her heels in. She was
Yeah.
just like, all right, well,
Yeah.
this is what you're saying, and this is what the numbers are saying.
Yeah.
Then we need to make this pivot because this is the right thing to do and what we're doing with Shoe Crazy.
And I think we were at Kroger, so we were
Mhm.
actually doing tastings at Kroger as well. So a couple of things came back there. You know, one of the wine managers said to us, you know, people buy Cabernets and people buy Pinot Noirs and people buy Sauv Blancs, but they're not loyal to a brand. Okay, sweet
Right.
wine drinkers are loyal to a brand.
Your brand.
Once you get them, they rarely deviate. You know, it's hard to really deviate that customer. And she said to me, she says, well, this Sauvignon Blanc it's a beautiful wine. It was delicious.
It's French.
She said, are you looking for a fast nickel or a slow dime? And at the time, I'm just new to the wine industry at this point, right? And I said very quietly, slow dime. And she goes, boom, no, you want a fast
Ow.
nickel. That's what you want.
me. She really hit me.
Ooh, you want
And you did it again.
you want a fast, you want a fast nickel. You want a fast nickel.
You know what? We gonna end this because I'm about to take a while.
Mama
Trying
said,
to go
I
to the
got
nursing
you.
home a little early, ain't you?
She been trying to get me. Rosie
trying to go.
She
Trying to go a little sooner, lady.
See, but I'm getting ready to bop upside the head for real now. Okay.
Uh-uh.
Gotta go a little sooner, I
We
think.
can't have that on
No
camera. We can't.
witnesses, nothing.
I know.
I see nothing.
I said
Nothing.
Seriously, back to what that advice was. Again, when someone gives you advice that's been in the industry, and she was in the industry for almost 30 years,
Yeah.
right? And she was on the retail side. And so she knows how shoppers shop and what they buy.
Mm-hmm.
And again, while you can sell that Sauv Blanc and you can sell that Cabernet, do you want a customer that's going to be loyal to your brand? And so she said to me, think about how you buy Cabernets, right? And how you buy Sauvignon Blancs. I'll go, ooh, is it from New Zealand? You know, I'm going to try it. So I'll try a new one, right? But people that buy Sweet Bella, they go, I'm buying Sweet Bella. I don't want to try, you know, XYZ. You know, sweet
I think
red.
the sweets, and I'm a sweet drinker, so
Yeah.
y'all speaking my language. I don't do the bone dry. That's her. That's why she salty that she couldn't get the Chardonnay because she
Yes.
all about the Chardonnay. She's like, oh, is this the desert in my mouth? That's what I want dry.
That's what
And
I
I'm
want.
like,
Oh my God.
I don't got time for that.
And it's funny that you say that because this one customer said to me, she said, I don't want to have to talk and discuss with my wine. I don't want to have to say, is this oak? Is this? Is it that? She goes, I want to enjoy the wine. I want to drink the wine, feel it, taste it, and enjoy it. And I just laughed at her and I said, you know, that's a very good description of wine, because if you get a bold Cabernet, you're like, ooh, you know, is this or is it that? And you really are kind of having this conversation with
Trying to figure out what you taste.
what you tasting, enjoying it.
You really do that.
Yeah, you
I
do.
didn't really notice that. That
And
is
so I did say to her, I said, you know, you're more astute with wine than you think,
true.
right? When she said that, because that was a really good description of, you know, wines that are more bold and more dry and things like that. But we made the transition. You know, a smart business person will do that. We made another pivot. I thought if you build it, they will come. Nobody comes. Nobody comes. I don't know who said that, but no. You have to take it to them. You got to take it to your customer, right? And so we couldn't get a distributor because you know, we were a new brand. It was a shoe on it, right? And so we sent out probably $10,000 worth of samples out to distributors, and for one reason or another, they rejected the product. And so, what do you do then? I said, all right, so Shoe Crazy Wine will become a distribution company.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were one of the first Black-owned distribution companies, right?
Okay.
And so we became distributors, and we started knocking on doors and selling our wine ourselves. And so we are still licensed in 3 states, Georgia, North Carolina, and Virginia. And we still distribute in those states, but we, you know, partner with distributors now, the big ones, the big distributors. But yeah, so we pivoted to becoming a distribution company. And I'll be honest with you, I wasn't savvy enough to give it another name.
Shoe Crazy Wine.
It can all go under one brand.
Distribution. That's the same.
That's it.
It's the same.
That'll make it easy if people Google you. You just
There you
pop
go.
up.
I mean, I guess you do it that way. Yeah,
There you
There you go. There you go.
There you
It worked
go.
out in the end, right? It worked out in the end. So yeah, so those are some of the things, you know, when I talk to entrepreneurs and I, you know, stress to them, the one thing about being small is that you're nimble. You can be nimble, right? I worked in corporate, right? These big behemoth of companies. In order to make something happen, it's like 500 chains up the, you know, up the chain to get sign-offs to make something happen. When you're small, you're making it happen because you're the only decision maker, right? So you can kind of turn on the dime. So that's a plus to being small as you grow your business. So those are some of the things that I really stress for entrepreneurs that are launching businesses.
Yeah. So y'all hear this, not just from me. The pivot is real, and you have to be able to do it, especially in this world. Like I always say, COVID has taught us nothing.
Yeah.
It's taught us how to pivot in a given situation.
Yeah.
So being an entrepreneur in cases like COVID, what are some things outside of the pivot that you noticed with, even if it's just particularly your brand, happened? Did it, because according to statistics, wine sales, alcohol sales went up.
Yeah.
So did you see a major increase to where you had to pivot again as far as business planning? Or was it pretty steady and you were able to continue to, just grow and keep it going?
Well, because I have the corporate background, right? I built the foundation for Shoe Crazy as a growth company. And when I would actually go and pitch to Costco's and all these places, they would say, you pitch like a company that's been around for 25 years and that has 10,000 employees, because that's how I built it, right? So the foundation was there because I had the experience, and I like to help other, small businesses with that same type of foundation build. So it didn't matter if I had to ship out 100,000 cases, I was ready to do that. Right. So there was really no pivot there. What COVID taught me in this industry is that liquor was king and wine was queen. Right. Because liquor sales were in the billions. Right. Wines did well. But if you're trapped in a house, you have no ability to really go out and socialize. Typically, you'll buy a tequila or whiskey or
I'll do some shots
bourbon
myself.
or vodka, simply because, from a financial standpoint, you're going to get more cocktails out of a bottle of whiskey or vodka
That's true.
than you are wine. You get 4 glasses, maybe 5 if you're, a light drinker, out of a bottle. And I think what COVID showed us is that we had launched a vodka probably in early 2020. We launched a vodka
right before
COVID hit. But what it said to us is we were on the right track to really add more products to our portfolio. And so that's something that COVID really taught us. And then the survival of the fittest, right? So there are import companies that went under, right? Because their stuff is stuck on the dock. If you're small, if you're a small business, you don't have, somebody financing you so that you can kind of come through it. And so I saw that happen to a very good friend. So those were some of the things in the industry with, what we saw and knew that we had to make some changes as we move forward.
And I guess actually noticing more with the whole liquor and spirits thing during COVID, it was more that it kind of gave us a kick in the butt to have more of an addition to Shoe Crazy. And that's when, we transitioned into Shoe Crazy Wine and Spirits. Because obviously, if they buying it up like that during lockdown for almost 2 years, that maybe we should be a part of this business too. And we're already kind of in the alcohol business. Let's kind of veer on over a little bit to that side as well.
And we had already launched that vodka. But what we did is we decided the same thing that we do for our wines, we wanted to keep that same flavor palette. Right. So our wines are fruity. And our CFO said, we are unapologetically sweet and fruity. And we are. Okay. And we don't want anybody that drinks sweet wine to hold their head in shame. So we actually trademarked soft palate. And we said to sweet wine drinkers, when you go into a wine shop, hold your head up high and you ask for soft palate wines. And that manager is going to say, well, what is that? Right. And you say, oh, let me explain it to you. Right. So we really did make it our business to kind of elevate the sweet wine drinker and come out of the closet and hold your head up. Right. There's nothing wrong with
Not
that.
make you feel ashamed.
Hey, E&J Gallo made their first billion on Thunderbird. Okay.
What's that?
Thunderbird. You don't know Thunderbird. I'll have to let you Google it.
I remember seeing the car. Okay.
Siobhan, you know Thunderbird?
I seen the cars.
I remember the car. I don't know nothing about that. I know E and
I
J.
don't know
See, I
Thunderbird.
do my research, okay? They made their first billion on Thunderbird.
I got some.
Okay.
I don't know the history.
Sounds like a headache of some type.
It is a
and
headache.
really bad hangover.
I don't know.
And I'm good.
That's a bad hangover.
That sounds like a 2-day hangover. Thunderbird.
I had uncles who they talk that Thunderbird, huh?
Thunderbird.
That sound like for a couple of days you ain't gonna be right.
Yeah, you
That
down for the
sound like
count,
one
like on
moment.
an IV. Type, down for the count, like 30 bottles of water next to you.
Right. You dehydrated your body.
Just to stay hydrated. Trash can right there, because I'm sure it's coming back
That
up.
is so funny.
Like Thunderbird comes with a backpack.
Yes.
full of water and a towel and an
This
IV
is-
drip and medicine and a
It's
headache.
true.
And some
Two fans blowing on you because
But
you're
it's
sweating.
true, it's true, but that's just to say, it's been around for a long time, right? The
Uh-huh.
sweet wine now, it doesn't have the same palate as our wines. I mean,
Right.
we make sure that, our wines don't have any additives or stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we wanted to really elevate, that fruity or sweet wine drinker, and that's what we did. And so we transitioned that same thing to our spirits. So our peach whiskey has a light sweetness on the front, but that burn on the back for the bourbon, right? So you get the best of both worlds. Our ladies moonshine, I'll let Brittany take down but she created vanilla ice cream. So this is a vanilla ice cream moonshine. It's a cross between
Now that's my favorite ice cream. Okay.
moonshine and a liqueur. It's for the ladies, right? It's for
Yes.
women that don't want to have that, harsh burn in their mouth,
All you need is a little ice.
but you just want that warmth, once, it gets to the back of your throat. And so, but again, vanilla ice cream, apple cobbler, right? We have a mango and a blueberry.
Apple cobbler.
And we have coffee. We have a coffee moonshine as well.
I mean, that's what you need as a lady. You don't want, they always talk about bourbons and whiskey that burn, fellas, that hair on your chest. As a woman, you don't want that hair on your chest.
that.
This
Okay,
one
you don't
does.
want that.
This
You
one
just
does,
want a
but-
little heat in the bosom.
I love the burn.
Thank you. You
a
want a
little
little
heat.
bit of warmth.
I love the burn.
And she wants to feel the
Set
burn.
my lungs on fire. Like that's what I want.
She's not
That's
my
how I drink.
customer.
She's
She's not my customer.
That's what I love.
She said, if I don't
Like,
breathe
I
fire like a
want,
dragon after,
like fire when
Flush
I
face.
breathe.
Okay.
Like a dragon.
So
Mother
we'll
of
put-
dragons.
We'll put, we'll put,
She
we'll put
wants
Brittany
to
in the
be
parking
there.
lot. We'll put Brittany in the parking
That
lot.
man should have put me in the parking
She's in
lot.
the parking lot. And we're going to talk about the women like us that wants that be with a little softness and a little
Just
warmth.
yes.
This is our sweet peach whiskey,
That's our
60.
sweet whiskey, 60.
Yes.
We got the titties on it.
I
Look,
do remember
I wanna
that
say,
bottle.
They
and
can
it got-
see them.
it's appeasing to the eye for a female and a male. Okay.
Yeah, and a male.
Because
Yeah,
you can just
absolutely.
be like, oh yeah, I
Absolutely.
can look like that. And then the guys, they got
Yeah.
They
They
got
got just because what they see on the,
Mhm.
and then they come back for what's in the,
Then they come back with
what's in the bottle, what's in the bottle.
That is true.
Absolutely.
right.
I mean,
That was
but that's intelligent marketing. That's good marketing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's good.
Exactly.
So since y'all have been doing this, and so y'all are mother-daughter,
Yes.
and we are sisters, man. And
Yes.
we are both, two of us in the small business.
Yeah. Yeah.
Working with family, starting a
Mm.
business with family.
Mm.
What has been that experience? Because you said when you started it and you asked her, what you should name it, she did the 16-year-old teeth suck, hair flip, walk away, right? Like, so now clearly that was some years ago.
Yeah.
Y'all are partners in this thing
Yeah.
now. So how was that transition? Like what?
Actually, it wasn't a bad transition. We've always had a really good relationship, and not to say that there isn't dissension. I mean, that's with everybody, right? There's some head butting, but from a business perspective, she's always been supportive of the decisions that are made for the company. And she goes, all right, you're going down, I'm going down with you. That type of thing. So it's never
Respectfully.
it's never been
Respectfully.
anything as it pertains to business. On the personal side, it may be a little different sometimes, but for business, we've always been kind of in lockstep. Both my sons now work for Shoe Crazy as well. So it's a family run business. Now that's a little different, right? Because they've been in sales and retail sales for so long and in leadership roles, right? That now you have to take direction from your mother because I'm now your boss. But, so that's been difficult. But if you think about the male psyche, right?
Right.
It's
Right.
gonna be this, in business as well. So it's been so different with Brittany and I working together. And if she has a suggestion, right, it doesn't mean I'm not gonna, listen to it. I mean,
She listens to it.
I may not implement it, right? Or we may say it's not right for the company.
Or right now, it's
Right
not right
now,
for it.
right.
Yeah.
So it's been a really good working relationship.
But
Absolutely.
I mean, anytime that I see her do speaking engagements, I mean, I literally hang on every word that she says. And it's like, I'm a part of our story, yet
Yeah.
hearing her say it and talk about it all the time, I'm just looking at her because I'm
Yeah.
just so proud of her.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
it's like,
Yeah.
it's my Shiro.
It's
Blow
still,
it up.
that's my mommy.
Right.
It's
That's
you're
right.
saying,
That's my
the
mama.
warm
Yeah, that's my
fuzzies,
mama right there.
like, that's my mommy. you
Yeah,
know?
like, and I just look at her like, you know what, look at her. And it's funny because she used to not be able to speak in front of people.
I did not.
And you know, you had to get out there in order if she wanted her company to be out there. You know, my brother said, like, you don't have to, you know, stop doing all this. You can't be behind the scenes anymore. You got to get up front
Yeah.
and let people know
And
about your company.
lead the troops
And
from up front as opposed to in the background, which is what I was used to doing in corporate.
So to see that transition and to see her in front of, you know, thousands of people and telling her story and, you know, being a mentor to women, also men, but mostly we mentor women and helping her, it's just like, I'm always like this.
Yeah.
And I just love just hearing her and just like seeing her in her element, and you can just see how much she loves what she does. And it makes me love her even more and love what I do.
What we do, right? And what you're doing.
So it's like, don't get me wrong, you know, we ain't always here, but for the most part, it's like we have a very, very good business relationship and relationship in general.
So y'all
I'll
grew.
be honest, I could tell my story, but it didn't come to life until Brittany started telling it with me, right? Because she's got the ability to engage. People are engaged and they listen to her. And you guys were laughing. I mean, she makes you laugh, right? And I mean, I'm suffering from allergies, man. I can barely catch my breath. The engagement is there, and I'm proud of the young woman that she's become. Absolutely, as we've gone through this journey. Yes.
So y'all it's a personal and professional development.
It is
all of that.
Absolutely.
My best friend.
Yeah.
That's trust me, my mommy, we not
a ride right here.
But my mommy is my best friend as well.
Yes.
So
Oh.
I completely understand. My husband kind of is like, where are you? Where else would I be?
I'm at my mama's. Right.
I'm at my mom's house right now.
My mom with my sister.
I'm 60 miles away. I'm with my mom.
I'm with my mom. I know, it's true.
No, it's like the same thing with my brothers. Like whenever I go visit them or something like that, like, why do you call her like 8 times, 20 times a day? First of all, like, I don't need y'all to give a mix. Okay. I have things to talk about with mom. Why you always do that? You're just mad. You're just
Right.
mad. You're just salty. I got things to tell her.
Right. So when my last question for the evening, when you said you mentor young ladies, of course gentlemen too, but young ladies, what would be 3 absolute key things that you would tell them, if nothing else, when they're just even thinking about entering entrepreneurship? Like, what would be 3 major things that you would say, okay, you should do this, and this before?
Okay. Those are really good questions, and those are things that I always try to lead with. One is understand the industry that you want to go into. Do your research. And I'll tell you why I say that. I didn't do that. I went into the wine business from an emotional standpoint. It's either stay in this room and never come out because I was so depressed, I lost my job, I can't walk, or do something. So starting a wine company was to do something. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I mean, I lost so much money. I don't even want to talk about how much money I was robbed, but people that took advantage of me. So the first thing I'd say is know your industry. All right. And the second thing I would say is make sure you're passionate about it. It's not something that you decided, oh, you know what? I think I want to create, a new app. If you aren't passionate about creating whatever's going to go into that app, then don't do it. Right? Because it's a waste of your time and the people that you're engaging with. So the first would be know your industry. Second would be make sure it's your passion that you're going after, because when things get bad, it keeps you going. Right? When it gets tough, it keeps you going. And the third and final thing, which I think maybe should be first sometimes, is don't use your own money if you don't have to. Protect your credit rating like it's a newborn baby. I didn't do that either, right? Again, I was operating a company out of emotion and doing business with people that were not in my best interests when I started. And once you lose your credit rating, it is brutal to bring it back up. To be able to get, financing and investors and anybody to think that you know what you're doing, because from a financial perspective, they're saying, you've blown through all this money. What do you have to show for it? So that would be it. It would be understand your industry, make sure you're passionate about it, and use the bank's money or someone else's money if you have that opportunity to do that, and protect your credit rating.
Awesome. Awesome. Siobhan, do you have your final question for these wonderful young ladies? I am enjoying it, so.
Yeah, I'm sure that you do. I'm sure. So, it's just been amazing talking to y'all. I don't really know if I have a question per se. I just guess, I guess this is my question, because y'all are being successful. If y'all, as y'all heard earlier, they selling out.
They sell
They sell it. Okay. What we know why y'all started it. What motivates you to continue? Because I think, and I get that you said, passion, but sometimes let's be honest. Sometimes even the things we're passionate about, we may not be as much on Tuesday as we were on Monday. Right. Or if something bad happens, we may look around, because as you all said, you had up and then you went down, and then you went up and then you went down. So what would you like? What keeps you motivated to stay resilient? I guess, even if it's something that is your passion, because life takes hits at businesses, at your personal, like it's constantly boxing you, health, money, all of it, crazy children,
right?
Crazy
There you go. Yes, true. And passion, being passionate about it is a very key component. The other is do you believe in what you're doing? Do you believe in it? Do you believe in your brand, right? And so when I started Shoe Crazy, Brittany's friend actually did the artwork on my label. And I told her I want a woman sitting in a shoe holding a wine glass. And I didn't want her to have any ethnicity. She's a witch before she gets her wine. Basically, that's what she looks like, right? If you look at the bottle. So that was one of the things that I believed in. I believed that I could build a brand that would go global. I always believed that. I still believe that. And if you believe in what you're doing and you're passionate about it, when things get bad, when your lights are turned off and you got a choice between paying your supplier or paying your light bill, and you choose to pay your supplier, what does that mean? You believe in what you have in that bottle, or you believe in what's in that box, or you believe in what's in that presentation deck if you're selling services, right? So that's what keeps you going. When you stop believing, right, then the passion goes away, right? So through it all, I lost my home, right? I lost my home, and it was not a small home either. So I lost my home. But when I gave those keys back to the bank, I believed in Shoe Crazy. I believed in it. And that, I think, is a good question, because you're right. When the passion starts to wane and, the rain starts to come in, what's going to keep you driven and motivated and believing in yourself and what your product is or your brand is or whatever that is?
You got me too, though, Mama. I've always believed in you.
I know you do.
I've had her back since day one.
Yes, you did.
That's right. That's
Everybody
right.
else has said all these horrid things, and I was just like, keep talking. You can see.
That's another show. That's another show.
So that part too.
That part too. That's another show. We don't have enough time for that. Yeah.
I actually have one last question for Miss Brittany. Actually, I'm not asking anybody's ages. We Black, we don't crack. It doesn't matter. Age ain't nothing but a number. Just appreciate the beauty, whatever age it has.
Wait. Now we're gonna start boxing.
Okay. But no, I'm really asking because you're a mother-daughter duo, and we know that you have sons, but we talking about the sisters. We right. Sisters. And what is it as someone coming up in it, and in part of the younger generation or the under generation, business, what has been your take on your experiences? Start being a part of a business that's started small business, that started from a ground up. What are lessons that you've learned? And I'm asking this from a perspective of, I did go to college, but a lot of people do not. And there's a lot of life lessons, if we're honest about the education system. This is the whole one for another time. But the key stuff we don't learn, that they don't teach you in school anywhere. They don't teach you how to balance a checkbook in anybody's school.
No, they don't.
They don't teach you about credit cards in anybody's school.
No, they don't.
They
They
don't,
don't tell you none of that.
they don't teach you any of that, but
They
you're
don't.
supposed to figure it out. So,
On your
but
own.
when you get that real world experience, what you get with running a business or starting a business, and I mean, I'm assuming that, and I'm making an assumption, so I could be wrong. I'm assuming that you weren't 15, 16 taking, master's business classes. So how has this been a learning experience for you?
Well, with it all together, I mean, knowing obviously with my mother's background with her corporate world, I also have kind of always been in that world in a way, even before us starting the business. But the people that you meet, like, actually, I'll use an example. Like, we just did the Goldman Sachs 10,000 small business because my mother was one of the cohorts, and so she, we went, and it was right in actually in DC. And I mean, it's just a different caliber, it's a different world. So you meet all these people that you hear their stories, that it's very similar to our story. I have nothing, I started from the bottom and now I'm here, and some are still building, and or either their businesses are very successful. So my personal take is that when I was in school, like you said, I've learned more just meeting all these other people that has been introduced since we started Shoe Crazy Wine than I would have ever learned in a college or a university. I'm self-taught when it comes to my marketing and branding, but I feel as if that I know more than most of the people that went to school for marketing and branding. Like, and it's funny because it's like you just listen and you learn.
You learn by fire.
Exactly. Or, or you kind of, you fall down and you're just like, well, that didn't work. Let's try something else. So it's like, trial and error in a way. And I mean, I absolutely love everything that I do. I love, my, being kicked down, but, getting myself back up for a long time there. When we first started the business, we had a lot of different things said, and, it would actually kind of affect me. And my mother would be like, why is this affecting you? You can't control them people. It has nothing to do with you. So after getting that, kind of sitting in my brain that, you can't allow people to just kind of just say or do anything. It doesn't matter. That's their problem. It's not your problem. Focus on what your goal is. And my goal is obviously making sure that this business prospers. So, and everybody else is just white noise. So I love every piece of it. This was not obviously what I was going into. I was getting my psych degree, but but I wouldn't change it. And I loved everything. I learned something new every day.
I really, really respect and love that question, because we put so much stock in getting a master's and a PhD, and I can count on one hand the number of PhDs that are successful, right? It doesn't define who you are. What you do with what you have defines who you are, right? So I went to college. That's where I met Brittany and my son's dad. We got pregnant early.
It's okay. I got that story. I ain't finished.
And I became a homemaker, right? And that's what I did. That was my career. I was a homemaker. I was a wife and homemaker. I was that quintessential soccer mom that golfed. And that's what I did for years.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, I was. And then when
I miss your cookies and donuts.
oh, honey, Betty Crocker had nothing on me.
No.
Martha Stewart had nothing on me. Okay. And so that's kind of the lifestyle that I had. I chose that path as my career initially, but then I wanted to do something else. And I felt I've done this and I can do something else, and I want a career. And so, but I didn't have any experience except what was in my household, right? Running a household. And I created a resume from what I did as a homemaker. And on that resume, I put skills based on being a homemaker. I was very clear as to what those skills were and where they came from. And I actually submitted that to a company, Fortune 100 company, and they called me in for an interview. And I actually typed it on a typewriter from my old college days. I didn't even know how to use a computer. And they interviewed me. And
that's
so what they said was, they gave me a stack. It was an entry
level. I gotta give it up to you on that one.
I grew up on a typewriter. I had it. I had a typewriter.
Where'd you find it?
A typewriter that you had to color in the S.
We had a typewriter. I grew up with a click typewriter. So I'm impressed that you had
attic, y'all.
Yes, pulled it out of your
Pulled it out of the attic,
yes,
y'all, like-
yes. I typed up my little resume, my resume, and they called me in because they said, "Who's using a typewriter?"
I would have called you in too. Like,
They did.
I called you in just to, can I see the
just to meet
typewriter?
you. Like, who did this?
Who did this? Who's doing
Can
it? Who
I
did
see
this?
the typewriter? I just want to see the typewriter.
Oh.
So I did. I went down. They gave me a little stack of papers. It was an entry level position. Yeah, customer support representative.
funny.
And they came out with this little stack of papers and they said, you need to transcribe this. And I went, ooh, this is going to be difficult. I don't know how to use a computer. And so my question to them was, what's more important, accuracy or speed? And so the hiring manager was there and he said, accuracy, because we're going to be creating invoices for, these huge corporations, right? To build them. All right, I can nail accuracy. Good Lord. So, I went in there and they gave me like 3 minutes or 4 minutes or whatever it was. I came out with one sentence, completed. I had one type sentence. And they said, oh, no, you were supposed to transcribe all of these documents. I said, no, I asked you what was more important, accuracy or speed. I said, I can guarantee you that's 100% accurate. And they said, welcome to IBM. So to your point, right?
Yeah.
It takes what you know and who you believe in yourself and what you can do, right? And it doesn't also necessarily also have to be a degreed position, or you don't have to be a degreed person. I encourage everybody to get an education, right? That's something we should all do. It's important, but it does not define your career path and how successful you will be. It just does not. So that's my little story, about entering corporate America and then building a career that took me on international assignments. Yeah, so that's a really good question. And I hope someone that's listening understands, what Brittany and I were trying to convey when it comes to that.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. She has a degree. I don't. And I am just now figuring that part out, like stepping out on that amount of faith, because for so long we were taught school. Without school, you will be nothing.
Right.
So, but it was funny because even with them saying that, it was so many other people who were like, yeah, I don't have a degree. So it was always a thought, well, if this is a thing, why? It was always a thing. So for now, everyone to realistically put it in its place, like, look, it's a great thing to have. It's awesome to have in your pocket, but that doesn't mean you can't be successful. It's now like, but it's also a relief because now you don't feel like you're behind,
like you're less than.
Or you're less
than,
so it's a relief that well, I actually can. And the one thing I will say COVID has actually done is make a lot of business owners of these Fortune 500 companies go, oh wait, so you realistically don't need, we just need you to have some type of sense. We need your abilities versus that piece of paper.
Just your work ethic.
Important.
It's about that.
It is. Your tenacity and your work ethic. It's like that degree doesn't mean anything. I can learn everything along the way, especially if you have the sense and actually and you're a fast learner. What do you need a degree for?
Yeah.
But it comes back to what you said, Gwen, about passion.
Yeah,
right?
and passion.
Because just like Brittany, I had to amen, high five on the self-taught marketing communications because I did that. I'm still doing that, and my degree is in performing art, and I don't use it. My current is in marketing, and is it something I know I don't have a degree for, but I crush it every day because if you really have the passion to do something, whether you get this piece of paper or you don't, you will take the time to teach yourself, and that investment. I think people are starting to realize is more important.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think for me, the best career I ever had was as a homemaker. To me, that was my best career. Raising your children to be, good citizens, if you will. Yes. And I think that's commendable. And a lot of women that are homemakers don't get credit for the phenomenal job that they do and for the hard work that goes into it, So I think if I had to choose my favorite career, that would be number one. And then being an entrepreneur would be number two.
I ain't no good sitting down about that life.
I think as a mother,
she is not that type.
I understand because I feel like
I ain't no upstanding citizen.
Even if I become
I'm a millionaire. For me, my legacy
Yes.
is my children that I
The
raise.
children. The
Are
children.
they good, just genuine,
Yeah.
good people?
And everybody makes mistakes. So no, I don't
Right.
think any family
Just
has anybody
genuine,
that's
good
walking
people.
around, with a halo over their head that hasn't,
Right.
fell through a crack or tripped or fallen. That's all of us on some level, right?
Yeah.
That's just,
And
that's
so
just
you
being
can't
human.
judge,
Human nature.
your children by the faults that they have and the challenges that they got over. So I don't want to make it seem like my kids are walking around with Bibles and and
Oh,
halos
no,
over their head.
completely
No,
understand.
that's not it. That's not it. But if
Completely
you give them a
understand.
foundation, a good foundation, eventually that foundation kicks in.
If
Yeah.
it's solid, they go, wait a minute now. I done been out here. Let me go back home and
Exactly.
get myself.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I
No,
think you made a good point by saying that too, Brittany, because I don't want to make it seem like, we didn't have challenges and God knows the teen years. I'm just saying,
What you mean?
I barely made it through as a mama.
I was
I
an
just-
angel.
I'm going through it now. So
And on that note,
And I wish you're talking
it
about.
trains you to be an entrepreneur if you can get through them teenage years.
I was the sweetest person in the entire world when I was there.
I can go up against Jeff Bezos, baby. I mean, me and Elon Musk is stand toe to toe. I done had
I'm
teenagers.
gonna stop talking because I don't want to get struck by lightning with my lies.
and then there's that part. Mama, you did a great job. If that's her, you did a great job. You know what? I value myself.
I'm looking up, but I don't want to get struck by lightning.
There you go. But yes, I think every mother and any aunt that's helped raise children, I mean, they may not necessarily be yours. Sometimes, you had to raise your sister's kids or some of your cousins' kids. You can stand toe to toe with Jeff Bezos and all them other ones, baby.
You really
Because
can.
if you can get through them teen years, you ready.
You ready?
You ready.
And that's why I tell my family, I'm big mama. I don't care what nobody says. I don't care. And people are like, oh, that's so old fashioned. I don't care.
Right?
I don't care. I'm big mama. Like people will look at me and go, oh yeah, that's big mama. My nieces and nephews gonna go, yeah, that's big mama.
Yeah.
That's me.
You don't
Okay?
mess around, right?
Right. That's big mama. I'm a discipline you and love you all at the same time, baby. But you will know, yeah, big mama don't play.
Yep. Right.
Sounds about right.
Oh God, this was wonderful. I had a good time on this show.
Yes,
You
this
guys-
is
you guys got a great
Yeah,
time.
it's fun.
A lot
absolutely
of fun.
stunning. Absolute great time hanging out with you all. We want to thank you for being on the podcast. Before we wrap things up, quick, just give us your handles. Let us know where we can find you, where we can follow you, where we can look you up, and all of those great things.
Well, again, I'm Brittany Hurt. This is my mother, Gwen Hurt. You can find us on shoecrazywine.com. That is our website. Brand new and all up and running. Really nice. We can also find us on Instagram, Facebook with Shoe Crazy Wine is what you type into the search engine. You can purchase our wines and Total Wine, Walmart, Target, Sam's Club,
Food Line.
Food Line.
Yeah. The military bases.
Military bases, if you are part of the Navy Exchange,
The Army.
Army,
Air Force.
Yep.
Coast Guard.
All of that.
Yeah.
You can purchase us there. And you can purchase online. We are sold in,
34 states.
34 states.
34 states. We ship to 34 states.
We ship to 34 states. So shoecrazywine.com.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So from Mississippi to Pennsylvania. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, to the
Mississippi
dirty
All
south
right.
all the way.
Well, Virginia is right here, so I'm gonna head down that way and get the wine.
That's where I had to get this one was from Virginia.
How did you like that, Stella?
Yeah, let us
It's
know your wine
good.
rating. I'm waiting. I'm excited. Ladies, if you don't know, at the end of each month, we have a live recording where we get to taste the wines that
of the
we've
month.
had.
Yeah.
So, and we invite guests and we all kind of do a live wine tasting and rate the wines and answer random questions. It's a fun time. And guys, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, you guys know, check that out every last Saturday of the month live on YouTube and Instagram at 3:00 Eastern.
Okay. We will check you out.
Yeah.
And a little something to learn about.
A little
It's really good.
something,
We
the
like
number
a good
We
time.
like that. We had a great time.
No
So
problem. Siobhan, before we go, let us know your wine rating on your Shoe Crazy wine.
Yes, so the Sweet Bella. First of all, I had like 3 glasses. Okay, so
I saw that.
it's here now,
It's
and
rating itself, right?
I mean, I had to stop drinking it.
Yes.
So
It's a
I,
little special. It's
Sure.
a little special.
I was surprised. You know what? I am a sweet red. I don't like most red. I like sweet reds, and then
Mhm.
whites I can do semi dry, off dry to sweet.
Yeah.
This was a really, really good red. The chocolate, I'm not gonna lie, the chocolate scared me. I really don't like chocolate.
I think a lot of people are scared by the chocolate, but it's not a chocolate wine.
It's not,
notes,
and that's what
Subtle
scared
notes of
me.
it, yeah.
Because I've had a chocolate wine and that was too much.
Too much,
Yeah.
yes.
I'm not a chocolate fan. I know that women are supposed to like chocolate. I do not. I'm not a big chocolate girl.
That's like me with bacon. I'm like the only person in the world that hates bacon. I'm sorry, I do. Yes.
So, but the strawberry, I am a strawberry.
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah.
But the problem with strawberry wine is it's too sweet. So this was
Sometimes
literally
it's
when I went to
overpowering.
go get this with my
Mhm.
boyfriend, I was kind of like, okay. Because first of all, y'all are selling out. And so they only had the Sweet Bella. And I think he asked me if I wanted white or red. And I
Yeah.
don't even think the red, I think, the white, I think they were sold out. I don't remember.
Sweet
but I wanted
Harmony.
Sweet
Yeah.
Harmony, yeah,
That's
that's
our
another big thing,
Riesling.
yeah.
That's our Riesling.
Yeah, I wound up getting the red because of that. Because, y'all business. But I read it and I said, ooh, chocolate and strawberry. Because all I'm thinking is chocolate wine plus
Yeah.
strawberry wine is going to be diabetes in a
Yeah.
bottle. And I don't need that much sugar.
Right.
Like I was concerned. I'm not gonna lie, I was concerned. And then I was like, oh, and they're gonna be on the show. And we don't lie, y'all. Like our responses are not sponsored.
Yeah.
We have torn some brands and some wines apart.
Mhm.
Sorry, not sorry. So I was concerned, but this was really, really good.
It's delicious.
Thank you.
Yeah. I made that with my mom. Yeah.
Oh,
Yes, I did. Yes.
this
She liked
is
red wine.
really, it is great. I'm not gonna dissect. This is a good blend. It's not a matter of sitting and going, to your point earlier, it's got oak and I can smell the ring.
Yeah, right.
And it's not none of that. It's really just you drink
It's
it.
an enjoyable,
It's an
very
enjoyable
easy to
experience.
drink wine. Yeah.
So
very
I
easy.
would give this a 4.5 out of 5, out of our 5 rate. Like it was really good. And for y'all who don't know, my go-to red wine is my Vassia di Casorso. And when I sipped this, I said, ooh, they in trouble.
Mhm.
Like my top red
That's
sweet,
usually
I was
how
like,
it goes.
y'all in trouble, guys.
Yes.
Yeah, we've made a lot of our customers jump ship.
Yeah.
A lot.
And it's funny because
lot of
I
them.
went to the store and Michelle knows my Vassia di Casorso was like, that's what kickstarted a lot of this podcast and just wines in general between the two of us.
Yeah.
Y'all's red is right below theirs
Yep.
in the store. Like
Yeah.
when I went, I was like, ooh, like I could just grab both. If this is
Mm-hmm.
the thing, then I could just
Yes.
two hands pull. Like this
Yep.
it's really, really good.
And I'd like to say, our wines are wine. You can taste wine in that glass. And a lot of people that don't drink sweet wines, they buy Bella. They buy Sweet Bella because it's wine and you can taste the wine in it. And I think that's what sets us apart as well. And you don't get a headache from it. I mean, there's no added nitrates and no additives.
And it's all naturally sweet.
Yeah.
So the process that we actually do, there's no corn syrup, no
None
extra
of that,
sugar
none of
added.
that.
That's actually naturally sweetened from the grape that's
Yeah.
put in that.
Okay, so now, if y'all don't understand, if I wasn't on a mission before,
Mhm.
I'm trying to tell you,
You're on a mission now.
I am on a mission now. Okay, okay, all right, oh, all right,
All right.
all right, because I want the Chardonnay and I want the.
I
Riesling.
want the Chardonnay. I took screenshots. I went on y'all website and I was like, ooh, that looks good. Like the peach mango, ooh, that looks good.
We
Sweet
gonna have to
Harmony,
get them
that
some
looks good.
charts. We gonna have to get
And
them.
that's
We gonna
the
get y'all
Riesling.
some Chardonnay and some
The
Sweet
The
Harmony.
Chardonnay looks like I was
We gotta
taking
get y'all some.
screenshots.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
so when I go to the store and I'm like, I'm looking for, and they're like, well, we only have these 3 and most of our out of stock, or we don't only
Yeah.
have these 3 and so I'm like, but it's
Well,
like
Total
It's a
Wine
big
has.
thing. Well, I'm so
Total-
glad that you guys are telling us this.
Well, Total Wine
So-
has 8 of our varietals. They have everything from
Good
our
product.
sparkling brut. We have a sparkling brut. We have an alcohol free for those people and it tastes like wine. It's an alcohol free.
Tastes just like a champ. So
So Total Wine carries everything we have. So
They
they are
only
usually out of
had-
stock though.
yeah,
Usually
no,
out of
they only
stock.
had the rosé and the red Bella.
Okay, so
Yeah,
they're getting deliveries
Yeah.
going in. They just issued POs for them.
mm.
So
Yeah,
which
the
is a
one,
good thing.
the one near my job, was like, a lot of people have been buying that. And I was like,
Okay, give it back.
I'm like, tell them to go get back here and get that bottle.
I did it.
Call them up. Where they live.
Absolutely.
know.
So I
I
am
know.
completely and utterly excited, like genuinely excited.
I think you'll be pleased with
About
what we
tasting
have. Our red blend, I think you'd like melange red.
That was the one I had
variety.
Well, my
screenshotted.
favorite go-to is the one that I showed you guys at the beginning was the strawberry passion. Oh,
That rosé
That's my fave.
is fabulous.
So,
And you
Yeah.
put your-
I had to give money to the company.
yeah, and I know I had to. We were writing checks. to
So
the
what
company,
I'm hearing is that one day we're gonna do a live wine tasting of the brand.
Yes,
Yes,
This is
do
what I'm
it. Yes,
hearing.
it's so good.
Let's do it.
They
Because
really are
apparently
good.
y'all sell so much that we just can't buy it out the store. So we just gonna come to a neutral location. We're gonna do a wine tasting
Come on
live.
over. Come
A
on
little
over.
something to shoot crazy
Yeah.
wine about one time. And
Where
just
are you located in Virginia? Where are you located?
Well, we're actually in Maryland, but
We're in
I'm
Maryland.
literally right across the bridge.
Ridge. Okay.
Like,
Okay.
like I could probably see it from my house if I look out
Yeah.
the window.
Okay. Yeah.
So-
So, I was gonna say, because you guys could have come out to our warehouse and did your thing, and I mean, we've got everything there in the warehouse. And let me say this as well. I'd love to see you guys have Sip and Share on. She's got some vegan wines and stuff like that, and we represent her in Virginia and in North Carolina and Georgia. Yeah, and then we are bringing in Old Orleans wine, another Black-owned wine.
Yep.
And she's got a rosé that we love.
Yes. it is very
And then,
good.
you know, she's got some whites and cabs and stuff. So, you know, like I said, we're trying to get more women of color in the industry.
And Miss Benito, who has the exclusive white, her red will be on the scene very soon.
Yes, she'll be releasing
So
an
we'll have
exclusive
her
I
red.
do
exclusive red
remember
scent, yeah.
her wine when we went to
Mhm.
the DC Wine Fest
Yeah.
because of the title, because of the
Yeah, so
name.
we've got
Something to whine about.
something to wine about.
Right, because she was something to wine. We were like, oh, we gotta, yeah.
It was a fun little, it's a fun little tagline that you put about. Yeah, and I love that you guys named it a little something to wine
Wine
about.
about. I like that
That's
too.
really fun. I love that.
Yes.
Ooh, we done went over 10 minutes.
It's okay. It's
Oh
okay. ladies.
no! I
We
was just
wanna
saying, like,
thank-
are we?
We want to thank you clearly, ladies and gentlemen. We can just continue to go on.
We
and
could
on.
go. It's been great having you
Make it 2
all.
hours.
That's what we do.
Yeah, just
You
keep
know,
going.
we talk to people and we love it and we
Yeah.
love what we do. So ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you all for joining us on this wonderful episode of Sisterless Wine.
Yes.
On a little something to
Wine
wine
about.
about. Be sure to join us each and every Wednesday for a brand new episode with more laughs, more fun, and of course, more wine.
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 More wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have more
Thank you so
wine.
much, ladies, for having us.
Right. And on that note, we're going to say
Cheers to that.
Yes.
ladies and gentlemen, be sure to join us next week. As always,
There's nothing wrong with a little wine.
Look, a little
Or
wine.
All right. Or a little something to whine about.
Thank you for whining with us on this episode of A Little Something to Whine About. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to join us live the last Saturday of every month on YouTube or Instagram. And we'll see you next Wednesday for more fun, more laughs, and of course, more wine.